I don't want to hear shit. Deal with it. Deal with it good and hard, because we're just getting warmed up. Welcome to this week's episode of It's the News, a Tacticon armament show. If you haven't lost faith in the mainstream media yet, what are you waiting for exactly? They all clearly just carry one line. There's no individual thought. They're not conveying any actual information to you. They're just carrying the flag for some other entity that's telling them what to say.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish things simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
The question of our time is just, what is that entity? Is it private corporate interests that have bought out the media apparatus? Is it deep, shadowy federal government agencies? Who knows? But you should stop listening to them. The entire established media melting down because of the Trump administration's cabinet picks is like maybe the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. We are at a point of inflection in our country. We're at a point of evolution in our country. It's time for deep, lasting change. We have to remove 100 years worth of bad policies in the federal government. And Donald Trump has picked the two people he thinks best suited to do just that. Donald Trump has picked two of the smartest human beings alive on planet Earth right now to head up the Doge, which is beautifully ridiculous. The Department of Government Efficiency will be led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, and they have both made promises to gut the federal government to the tune of 70 to 80%. If 70 to 80% of the federal government getting fired seems totally insane to you, it's because you've never worked in the government. The amount of inefficiency and waste seen in the federal government is almost unfathomable. It's almost an uncountable amount of money, time, and energy that gets wasted on absolutely nothing. It's inefficient in its nature. Private business and a free market economy is the solution. It's what made America great. It's what allowed us to have advancements, technological, medical, engineering, all of it. All of the advancements in American society and in human society come from a free market environment. Removing government oversight, removing red tape, and moving bureaucrats and politicians out of the way and allowing the free market to run is not only the solution to the economy, it's the solution to America's future. I literally cannot think of two people that are more qualified to go through door by door, office by office, and gut the federal government more than Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy.
Hello all, no need to run, your fates have already been sealed.
But it doesn't just stop there. Vivek and Elon will both need a baseball bat to drag around to break things with, and that baseball bat is Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz has been picked to be the next Attorney General. And I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Matt Gaetz fan, I think he's kind of a jackass. But sometimes the solution to the problem is a hammer, and Matt Gaetz is an excellent hammer.
That app doesn't do any search of their criminal history in their home country, does it?
Congressman, I disagree with everything you have said.
Well, I'm sure, but just answer the question.
I'm not going to get into commenting on that.
You seem deeply uncurious about it, don't you? Almost suspiciously uncurious. Are you protecting the Bidens?
Hey, you're not. If you took that stage, you would get booed off. You would get booed off the stage.
Another beautiful hammer that's being brought into this mix is Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is going to do a phenomenal job as the Secretary of State. Marco Rubio isn't afraid to draw a hard line. He's not afraid to speak truth to power. He's not afraid to speak truth to the media. Marco Rubio has consistently presented himself as someone who is there for reality, truth, and the best possible option for America's future.
Senator Rubio, will you call for a ceasefire?
No, I will not.
Gaza?
On the contrary.
Rubio,
are you filming it?
Wait,
so I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes.
If the team wasn't already looking strong enough, one of the most important offices in the American government is the Director of National Intelligence. If you don't know what the DNI is the single standalone person that all of the intelligence agencies report to. The FBI, the CIA, the NSA, all of them report to a single person that works in a single office. And Donald Trump has picked Tulsi Gabbard to be the next Director of National Intelligence. With Tulsi Gabbard's military intelligence background and her willingness to stand for what's right in spite of party lines or financial benefit, her willingness to walk away from the Democratic Party and support the Republican ticket to support Donald Trump was absolutely phenomenal. She said to the American people that she stands for what's right, regardless of the consequences. She's going to make a phenomenal DNI. The single most exciting appointment that the Trump administration has floated so far is their appointment appointee for the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Because of the short format nature of the show and how I run it, I'm not going to go into a deep dive on any of these people, but many of them have a Sean Ryan podcast interview, and I highly encourage you to go watch them. Tulsi Gabbard's is phenomenal, Vivek Ramaswamy's is phenomenal, RFK's phenomenal, but the single standalone strongest, I think, is Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth left the military and has fought the fight that all of us in the military, all of us in police departments, all of us in the first responder, fire, and EMS world, all of the true blue, hardworking professionals of this country, what we have been saying for the last 15 or 20 years, that you're destroying the system, you're breaking the institutions that matter the most. Pete has been the most vocal, the most active voice fighting back against that regime. He is a many times over published author. He is a Fox News contributor and personality. He is a military veteran. He is intelligent, and he believes in the strength and the significance of the American military. It's not a place for you to learn about yourself. It's a place for you to learn how to be a part of a team and how to be a savage willing to beat another man to death with a rock. Our military should be full of red-blooded, alpha-type men willing to stand on the throats of those who threaten us. The military can no longer be a social experiment. It must be filled with hard, determined men willing to risk their lives, willing to risk everything in order to protect this country, in order to stand for the morals and the principles that we as a society uphold while they're gone. I am genuinely taken back by the Trump administration's pick of Pete Hegseth to be the Secretary of Defense. I think he's capable of doing a wonderful job there, and I think the most important thing about him is that he's someone that didn't climb through the political quagmire of the upper ranks of the military. He didn't get bogged down in the politics trying to make his way to the upper echelons of the officer corps. He saw that it was broken, he left when it was broken, and he started fighting to fix it from outside of it, which is the right answer. The United States military is guarded, it's controlled, it's owned by the American civilian populace. It's our military, and Pete understood that. He left its ranks in order to fix it, and now he's being given an opportunity to do just that. This potential appointment shows the Trump administration's true resolve to making a difference, to truly changing the trajectory that our country is on. But it doesn't just stop with Pete. The idea of looking outside of the government and outside of classical places to find directors of these institutions can be beautifully seen on RFK's website. RFK hosted a website called Nominees for the People, and he is using a crowdsourced voting system to pick potential nominees for these offices. There's 10,000 different appointees that need to be made, and who better to make those choices but us, the American people? And it's wild to me to watch the corporate media come out and have an issue with it. Why is giving the American people more choice, more control, a bad thing? And single-handedly, the most incredible thing to happen on RFK's website by far so far is the fact that Brandon Herrera, a YouTube personality, but also someone who has been involved in local and state politics, an outspoken, involved member of American society, someone genuinely trying to move the ball of the American culture down the road in a positive way, Brandon Herrera is currently leading in the votes to be the next director of the ATF. And not only is Brandon Herrera an end user of the ATF policies and an FFL SOT owner for more than a decade, but he's extremely well versed. He spends his life making these arguments against the ATF and against the ATF policies. He knows the ATF's in and outs better than the ATF does. And he's a subject matter expert on the very thing that the ATF regulates, which is way better than anyone at the ATF actually is now.
Oh, he's trying to... he can't do it.
Oh, no, bro.
Oh, okay, way to go. Nope, still don't have it. Okay. No.
And again, Brandon would make a phenomenal director of the ATF because he would enforce the Second Amendment as it's written, infringement-free. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. There's no confusing it. It's very blatant. Your ability to criticize your government is the most important difference that the American government system has. No one else in the world has a system like ours. Even free Western countries don't have the type of protections over free speech that we do. And it's because the protection over free speech isn't words on paper. It's guns in your home.
FBI, open up!
Your ability to defend yourself and to say no and to arm yourself against regimes, foreign or domestic, that would threaten your rights, your freedom, your belief system. That is what makes America so amazing. Our right to free speech is backed up by my rifle over my hearth and my home. And I defend my family, my children, and my way of life through that rifle. That is what the Founding Fathers intended, and that is what we as Americans must do. The pen may be mightier than the sword, but when the pen fails, the sword must still be there. Now is the time for us, the average American citizen, to get involved. There is a strategy to warfare. There is a strategy to fights. You push where there is mush. And right now, the Titans, the Goliaths, are all on their knee. From the mainstream media, through Hollywood, through the music industry, to the entire government apparatus that has run our country into the ground over the last 100 years. All the structures of power have taken a knee, and it's time for us, the American people, to take control of our country back. It's we, the people, and the significance of that and the significance of this moment can't be understated. It's on us to fix these things. None of these appointments, none of the elections, no senator, no president will ever point the country truly in the direction that it needs to go. It's on us, the American people, to control the society. Society and the culture war is the war that we need to be involved in. We should be proud of the culture that we have, and we should be active members of that culture. It's on us, the American people, to shape our culture and our society to be what we want it to be. All the laws and regulations and rules that are written by elected officials mean absolutely nothing when the society itself is morally corrupt. It's on us to get involved in local elections. It's on us to get involved in electing our local sheriffs, our local school boards. It's on us to be involved in being good parents. It's on us to be parents. It's time to make families. It's time to raise children. It's time to make a new generation of people that are going to pick up the fight that we're in and carry it on into the future. We are at a pivotal point as a country, and the fight isn't over. There's no time to take a breath now that Trump has won the election. The fight is only getting started. The best way that you can make a change in your world is to make a change in yourself. You have to be what you want your world to be. If you want a moral, just, family-oriented society, then you have to be moral, just, and family-oriented. It's time to restore morality, it's time to restore common sense, and it's time to restore the American family. And remember, it's okay to be dangerous. I'll see you soon. I've really been enjoying doing these personal notes at the end of the episodes, so this week I just want you guys to enjoy this wonderful clip of my favorite media personality, Peter Doocy. He just speaks truth to power, and that's the best way to have any argument right now. We don't have to get angry or militant or grumpy, or we just have to say what reality is, what truth is, and allow their side to do their best to explain it away. Just please enjoy Peter Doocy, absolutely off the top ropes, slamming Karine Jean-Pierre. It's beautiful.
Today, a week after the election, President Biden and Vice President Harris had a private lunch. How awkward was that?
I don't even understand. Why would it be awkward?
Because
why would it
the president
be awkward?
got squeezed out for her, and then she kept him at arm's length, and then she lost, and now she's back.
Why would you characterize it as awkward? They have regular lunches. They meet and talk regularly. Why would you call it awkward?
So there's no weirdness about the way that things have unfolded since
Did you see them?
21st.
Did you see them together yesterday as well when they honored our veterans and were together?